My next victim is Dr. David Bath, an associate professor at RSU and has been awarded the General and Mrs. Matthew B. Ridgway Research Grant. Welcome.
Thank you.
Very good to have you here. Tell us about the grant. What's that about?
So every year, and it has been out for a few years, but every year the Ridgway family has provided money so that researchers can go to the Army Education Center in Pennsylvania and use their documents, use their capabilities to conduct research and do studies on military or military-related topics.
So there's quite a bit of, a lot of folks don't realize, but there's a lot that goes into research in the military, is there not?
Yes, yes. So as you go in, you have to figure out what the topic is, then you have to figure out what has been done and what has not been completed, and so what should be looked at, where the documents are, and what you can find out from them.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this goes back, to the best of my knowledge, to a period of Harry Truman, when he really said, let's get this all together under NSA, didn't he?
Yes. So that's my topic is the creation of the intelligence community. And as you know, the U.S. would build a military capability anytime there was a war, and they would build the intelligence capability to go with that. But once the war was over, we pretty much went back to a very minimal level. After World War II, and as you said, Harry Truman, the Soviets were expanding, and at that point, we decided that the threat to the U.S. was still valid, and we needed to go ahead and retain the capabilities. So we retained the Army, we retained the military, set up the Secretary of Defense, but we also established the CIA and a lot of the agencies that we know as the intelligence community now.
Right now we're witnessing a period in history that makes me extremely uncomfortable. I'm not trying to draw you into a political discussion. I wouldn't do that. But, he said, does it make you nervous to see all the cuts that are being administered right now, seemingly with disregard to the reason or the outcome?
I have talked to a few people about this. I believe that the U.S. government could probably be smaller, but I would like for someone to sit down and determine exactly, all right, what do we need? What do we not need? Why do we need it? Is there a better way to develop this? And so in that way, I hope that people will slow down just a little bit and make some concerted efforts to say, why are we cutting things, and what can we afford to cut, and what do we not afford to cut? Because
if we don't, we're going to be a second-rate power.
Very well, yes.
Do you see in the foreseeable future a joining of the minds to accomplish such a feat, where you've got everybody thinking along the same path?
I don't think we've done that since the nation's been together. So I hope that we can move back toward the center, and so people can communicate better and engage with each other to determine, all right, what is everybody willing to work together to compromise on?
Well, a lot of Americans are, we've become complacent in so many ways. You were a security officer when you were in the military. Mm-hmm. But folks out in the world outside the military and outside of security, for them, it's out of sight, out of mind. Somebody else will handle it.
Right.
Does that worry you?
So it's funny, one of my bosses once said, intelligence is like oxygen. You really don't realize that you need it until you don't have it. And it really makes sense when you think through it that way. Most of the time, I would hope that Americans don't have to think about what intelligence is being gathered, what intelligence is being analyzed, what is being done with it, because as long as it's being done well, it has no, there's no sight. There's nothing that you see that has an impact. It's when it goes badly that you notice.
You're a professor here at Rogers State. What do you see that you like most in the students in your classes?
So when my wife and I came here, she recommended that I come here and teach. We drove up, and it's kind of funny. I wasn't sure if I wanted to come teach here. We drove into the parking lot, and I saw a pickup held together by baling wire. And I remembered that was me 25 years ago. I said, these are the kids. They've come off the farm. They've come from working class families who now have that motivation to succeed, the drive to accomplish whatever they need to do to get where they need to get. And I thought, these are the kids I want to help. I want to make sure that they see the opportunities that they have to excel and to broaden what they think that they can do. My first year, we helped a young lady get into the FBI, and she invited me out, my wife and I, and she
That had to feel so rewarding.
Oh yeah. She said, and I'll try to remember, but she said, I thought that I was going to go from my little town to RSU and back to my little town and hold a job somewhere. And she said, you opened my eyes to the possibilities that were out there that I never dreamed of. And so, yeah, now she is working for the FBI, doing amazing things, and I'm extremely proud.
Are you disappointed in your decision to come to RSU?
No, I'm extremely happy to be able to impact the students. When I was at Ole Miss, a lot of the students were moving into the intelligence community, and so it was a neat opportunity. But I look here and I think, those kids knew where they were going. They knew what their options were. This gives me an opportunity to make a difference in lives that they might not have otherwise.
Well, I got to tell you, when I found out you were coming, that you were going to be a guest on this show, I went, holy Toledo, this guy knows more about me already than anybody in this studio. Welcome anytime to come back, and we'd love to have you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for taking time to visit with us.